Hello and welcome. Are we one day going to drive hydrogen-powered cars? And if so, what will be the most common use cases? My guests today have a pretty clear idea of what will be coming in the future. They are either making or using hydrogen vehicles today. In the studio with me is Nicolas Champetier, CEO of Hyvia. Nicolas, welcome.
Thank you.
Hyvia is a joint venture between Renault and Plug. You produce fuel cell-powered utility vehicles. You'll give us some details in a few minutes. Also in the studio with me is Loïc Voisin.
Hello.
Hello. Loïc, you are CEO of Hysetco, and you operate a fleet of hydrogen taxis in Paris. And I hear you have some interesting development plans for next year, for 2024. So you will give us some details in a minute. And we are on the line with Juergen Guldner. Juergen, welcome. It's great to have you with us. You are a General Program Manager for Hydrogen at BMW, and you've been producing a small fleet of hydrogen-powered SUVs, and you've been showing them around. Before I talk to each of you, we had a talk this morning with Ned Curic, who is CTO of Stellantis. We asked him why Stellantis invested in hydrogen, and this is what he said.
We believe that that's probably best segment to put the hydrogen systems in because of the load that these vehicles carry. And when you think about this sort of a ratio between the time to refuel and the kind of emission of these LCV vehicles, it's absolutely a perfect sort of scenario. So when you electrify these large vehicles, you're taking away from the payload because the batteries are really, really heavy. Versus when you have a hydrogen system in these vehicles, you're not taking away from the payload. The hydrogen system is about a similar weight as your internal combustion system. And so that the payload that these vehicles carry is not compromised.
We also asked Ned about his development plans, and that was his answer.
We have built a system for the I'm going to say mid-size van, and at the moment we're working on two new systems. One is for the large, what we call X250 van, the larger vans. And then we're also working on a system for heavy-duty vehicles.
So let's talk a little bit about Hyvia. Nicolas, when was the company created and what do you do?
So we created the company in July 2021. And what we offer, it's a complete end-to-end solution to our customers. Complete means from the vehicle, the charging station, the energy, the molecule, but also the financing solution.
And so you've decided to produce utility vehicles rather than personal cars. Why so?
Because at Hyvia, we consider that the right market, the right usage is intensive use for fuel cell electric vehicle. And so we targeted this market first because we consider this is the real benefit of fuel cell for users.
And how many vehicles have you produced and sold so far?
So we are producing a limited quantity of vehicle. We are at the beginning of the story, and we are working in a kind of pioneer mode. And so we want to take our time to deliver the right vehicle to the users.
So which customers are interested by this type of vehicles and are investing in hydrogen? What's their profile?
At that point, we can consider large fleets are the first customers interested by the technology. They are able to invest themselves to discover in this pioneer mode, as mentioned, and they will help us to progressively deliver the right solution for their usage.
Mm-hmm. And why do they choose hydrogen over battery electric?
Because they have part of their usage that are not covered by the electric vehicle, particularly the very demanding one, the intensive usage when they are operating in several shifts, when they are making long trips. And so they want to get this solution to complete their BEV offer.
And so what are the next steps for you?
So we have introduced, beginning of 2023, our first offer that has been extended at Solutrans this week with an additional version of the Master H2 Tech in order to propose to our customer a large, wide offer. And we will introduce later in 2025 the new Master H2 Tech to the market.
Okay, excellent. Juergen, let's talk about BMW's approach to hydrogen. So you've chosen to develop a hydrogen version of the iX5, which is an SUV. Why an SUV?
Well, you probably know BMW as a leader in innovation, but as responsible corporate citizens, we're also a leader in sustainability. And that's why we decided many years ago to pursue this topic of hydrogen. We teamed up with Toyota about 10 years ago in developing the fuel cell technology. And we think that also in the private sector, the technology is kind of the missing piece of the puzzle when it comes to decarbonization and zero emission mobility. We chose the X5 because the hydrogen technology is best suited for the larger vehicles, but also because these vehicles have a customer profile that fits the hydrogen technology. Mainly, we're addressing customers who are traveling a lot, who need a lot of flexibility, and who maybe don't have electric charging at home, or who simply in their mobility needs don't have the time to charge an electric vehicle. As BMW, we have put out many battery electric vehicles in the last 10 years, but we already see that in the future it will be difficult to reach each and every one of our customers, and we think that hydrogen is the solution for those customers who have trouble with battery electric vehicles.
And so where did you start developing this hydrogen vehicle, and how many did you produce?
We produced just a few dozen of these vehicles because this is a pilot fleet. We do a lot of learning with these vehicles. We use them worldwide for testing, but also to get feedback from the different countries how this powertrain, how this type of mobility is perceived there. We spent about 4 years of development time. We basically did all the necessary development steps like crash testing, all the simulations, the bench testing, and then we went out to the different regions of the world. We did winter testing in Sweden, we did summer testing, we were in Dubai, we were in Colorado doing altitude testing, so we completed a pretty comprehensive test program over the last 4 years.
And so I hear you've been showing them around in the recent months. How have they been received?
To be honest, we were overwhelmed by the positive response because we knew that there was a certain set of customers who prefer this technology over battery electric technology. But at the end, we see in a lot of countries a lot of positive signals, a lot of interest from the general public in this technology. And this encourages us that we're on the right track to also develop this technology in addition to the battery electric vehicles. We really don't see it as a competition between the two technologies. We really see it as a complementary technology.
And so who do these cars appeal to? What's the typical user profile?
Well, first off, we have people, customers who don't have electric charging at home. And then using a battery electric vehicle is a little bit more effort, a little bit more tedious. And these are metropolitan areas, but we also, of course, see grid issues. And then there's customers who travel a lot, who just need the flexibility, who tell us that they simply don't have the time, even if we get electric charging down to 15, 20 minutes, that they would prefer this technology. Basically, a hydrogen car is the best of both worlds, right? We have electric driving with all the advantages, the great acceleration. It's a silent mobility. It's zero emission, but you can use the car like people have used cars for many, many years. You go to a gas station, you gas up 100% full in 3-4 minutes, and you're ready to go again.
And so what's the roadmap for you looking forward? What's the next step? Maybe a production car?
That's definitely an option. We are taking the feedback from this pilot fleet. We're also looking at the next necessary technological steps, and we will make a decision based on this feedback how and when and in which vehicle it would make sense. We think towards the end of this decade, the second half of this decade, would be the right point in time for us in the private vehicle sector to consider a mass product.
Loïc, I'd like to have your story now. Tell me more about Hysetco. What do you do?
The mission of Hysetco is to ease the transition towards a true and fast zero-emission mobility. We developed a unique business model by managing two main activities in parallel. The first one is to ease the access to hydrogen for our clients. So we develop, we design, we finance, we build, and we operate a network of hydrogen refilling stations. The first activity. And the second activity is to offer all kinds of services needed, desired by a driver of a hydrogen car. Starting from the access to the vehicle, insurance, repair, maintenance, learning, all kinds of services. And this is by managing these two activities in parallel that we are able to make this transition easy and real and fast.
And so how many cars do you operate today in Paris? I hear you're using Toyota Mirai cars, right?
Yes, this is right. Today we have around 500 FCEVs in the streets of Paris and the area.
Okay, so for your use case, for what you do, how is hydrogen a better fit than battery electric?
It's not a question of competition between different kind of zero-emission mobility. But we are convinced that hydrogen has two main advantages regarding the usage of the car. First one is that you have the same routine than with a thermal car. You go to a gas station, as it was previously said, and you can refill your car very fast, within 3 to 5 minutes. And the second main advantage is that with this refill, you have a large range, around 500 to 600 kilometers.
And so what are your plans looking forward?
Well, we are facing a very, very fast and huge growth. So we are selling more and more hydrogen. Today, we sell more than 20 tons of hydrogen per month. And we have this large fleet of vehicles. We intend to at least double both activities, so quantity of hydrogen sold to our clients and the fleet of vehicles by 2024.
And now, before we end our session, I'd like to ask all of you to bring out your crystal ball and give me an idea of what could be the market for hydrogen vehicles in the future. What could be the size of the market, maybe versus battery electric? Nicolas, what would you say?
Crystal ball, that's a good point. So at Hyvia, we believe that we target to take 30% market share in LCV, fuel cell LCV market. That's, I would say, our objective. Nobody knows what will be the success, but we know the advantages regarding the electrified vehicle, and we consider that we will probably have, on top of the BEV, 15 to 20% of the market that could be fuel cell EV vehicles. So we are working on this internal objective. Now, market will decide, so step by step, and we will, in an agile mode, follow the needs of the market.
Okay. Juergen, what's your take?
It really will differ in the different countries of the world, and that's what we're already seeing with our activities today. We have a different philosophy. We want to be flexible. We want to have the technology available. We want to make it mature enough such that we can react to the market requirements and the customer needs. And for us, the next step will be to have a joint architecture between battery electric vehicles and hydrogen vehicles, such that in the production, it's very easy to either produce a battery car or a hydrogen vehicle. And this flexibility has helped us in the last 10 years, last 20 years, to really always satisfy our customer needs with the perfect powertrain.
Gentlemen,
and the perfect car, of course. Thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you for being with me today, sharing your thoughts. Everyone, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.